What if I told you there's a dolphin that swims blind through muddy waters, navigating entirely by sound, and it's racing against time to avoid vanishing forever? Picture a river that carves through mountains and deserts, a lifeline for millions. Now imagine a creature that calls this river home, a dolphin, but unlike any you've seen. It has no lens in its eyes. It doesn't leap in sparkling ocean waves. Instead, it navigates the silt-heavy currents of the Indus River, using echolocation to see a world of perpetual twilight. This is the Indus River dolphin, one of the planet's last freshwater dolphins. And not long ago, scientists feared it was already a ghost. But the story of this dolphin isn't just about its strange biology, it's about a perfect storm of threats closing in from all sides. And the fight to save it has become a desperate race against dams, pollution, and the slow suffocation of its only home. To understand why this dolphin is so vulnerable, you have to step into its world. The Indus River flows for over 3,000 kilometers, from the Himalayas to the Arabian Sea. For centuries, the dolphin thrived throughout this vast network. But today, its range has shrunk by 80%. It's now trapped in a few fragmented stretches of river, isolated from one another like islands in a rising sea of human development. So what happened? How did a species that once numbered in the tens of thousands fall to just over 2,000 individuals? The answer lies in a series of quiet, relentless changes that began decades ago. As populations grew along the river, the demand for water and power reshaped the landscape. Dams and barrages were built, massive structures designed to control flooding and provide irrigation. But for the dolphin, they became walls. These barriers split populations, preventing dolphins from migrating, breeding, and accessing the deep pools they need to survive. Each new structure further fragmented their world, leaving small groups genetically isolated and increasingly vulnerable. Then came the water extraction. Canals siphoned off enormous volumes of river water for agriculture. In some stretches, the river level dropped so low that dolphins became stranded in shallow pools, unable to move or find fish. During dry seasons, what was once a powerful river became a chain of stagnant puddles, a death sentence for an animal that needs continuous, flowing water. But the threats didn't stop there. As industries and cities grew along the banks, chemical runoff, plastic waste, and untreated sewage began pouring into the river. The Indus became a toxic highway. For a dolphin that relies on sensitive echolocation to hunt and navigate, noise pollution from boats and machinery created a constant fog of sound, disrupting their ability to find food or avoid danger. And then there were the fishing nets, invisible traps that entangled and drowned them by accident. By the 1990s, the situation seemed hopeless. The dolphin was declining fast, and few outside of conservation circles even knew it existed. But then, something shifted. A coalition of scientists, local communities, and government agencies launched one of the most ambitious freshwater rescue efforts ever attempted. They started by identifying the most critical stretches of river, places where dolphins still had a chance. In these zones, fishing bans were enforced. Patrols were organized to reduce poaching and monitor water quality. And perhaps most importantly, communities that once saw the dolphin as competition began to embrace it as a symbol of their river's health. Local fishermen were trained as dolphin watchers, paid to report sightings and help with rescues. When dolphins became stranded in irrigation canals, teams worked through the night to move them back to the main river. It was slow, difficult work, but it began to make a difference. Then came the technological innovations. Researchers used underwater microphones to map dolphin movements and identify key habitats. They tracked individuals, learning which pools they returned to during dry seasons. This data helped influence policy. New dam projects were modified to include dolphin passages, and water release schedules were adjusted to maintain minimum river levels during critical months. Bit by bit, the decline began to slow. From a low of around 1,200 individuals, the population has slowly climbed back to just over 2,000. It's not a victory, not yet, but it's a sign that change is possible. Today, the Indus River dolphin remains endangered. It still faces all the same threats: habitat loss, pollution, and the looming impact of climate change. But it also represents something more: a test case for whether humans can learn to share a river with another intelligent, unique species. The same strategies being used to protect the dolphin, community engagement, habitat restoration, and smarter water management, are now being applied to other endangered river species around the world. The blind dolphin of the Indus may never see the world it swims through, but its survival has helped us see something vital. That rivers are not just resources to be used, but living ecosystems to be cherished. And in saving this strange, beautiful creature, we may just be saving the lifelines that sustain us all. If you were part of a team trying to save the Indus River dolphin, what's the first change you would make? Share your ideas in the comments. We read every one. And for more stories of species fighting back from the edge, subscribe to Rare Species.